can't do better than this? We can't? Do you know what the best health insurance plans in Ohio are for 2017? Well, hey, stick around, because you're going to find out. How's it going, everybody? I'm Joey Giangola with Giangola Insurance, and today it is my favorite video of the year to create the best of health insurance plans in Ohio for this fantastic upcoming year of 2017. Every year, I feel like I want to be more optimistic as to the number of choices and the actual quality of plans that I have to present to you. However, it seems to get progressively worse each year. Let me take that back just really quickly. We did get to add a second company for the first time ever in the list's history last year, although I guess it doesn't really count because that health insurance company is no longer in business this year. So I guess, yeah, it doesn't count at all because that was bad. This year, well, let's get on with the good news, shall we? And by good news, I mean not great news. What you need to know before we even get into this whole thing is that, well, Medical Mutual, who has dominated the list for the last several years, basically since it's been created for the most part, has made a lot of changes that I detailed in this video right here, talking about exactly who and where you can buy health insurance from in 2017. If you just take a quick look at this map, well, you can see that there's a whole lot of gray. That gray means if you live there, you can't buy from Medical Mutual. If you live anywhere else other than the green, you're gonna have a hard time making any of these plan suggestions that I make work for you. The few lucky counties in Ohio, the green ones up towards the northeast part of the state, are Ashland, Ashtabula, Cuyahoga, Geauga, Lake, Lorraine, Medina, Portage, and Summit County. That is it. Those are the only counties in Ohio that are gonna have the availability to buy the awesome plans that Medical Mutual has always had available to the entire state, all 88 counties. And these are the ones that are predominantly featured on this list. Just heads up that that's going to kind of make things a little bit tricky. However, because of that, well, we've had to go ahead and include somebody else on the list just for those people who didn't have Medical Mutual as an option, and it's going to be actually a lot of you, most of the state actually. And that company is actually going to be, regrettably, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, as they have become the best of the rest at this point in time. Just going back to that map real quick, note that you'll notice the other counties that are orange and yellow, well, those amount to about 23 counties that got switched to an HMO only offering from Medical Mutual, meaning a very limited network, meaning no out-of-network coverage, something very important that you're going to want to pay attention to. It's only the green counties that are kind of good. Obviously the gray, you don't have any choice. Medical Mutual doesn't want anything to do with you this year in 2017. So let's get onto the list. First, Medical Mutual's 6,400 HSA. Now, this is the most steadiest of steady performers, as it has been featured on just about every version of this list. And this plan is going to come standard with a $6,400 single deductible, which is up $400 from last year, which it was $6,000, and a total family deductible, meaning, again, just adding a second $6,400 deductible to total of $12,800 for the family. That's your total deductible limit, and also doubles as your out-of-pocket maximum. So that's the most money anybody in your family would ever be on the hook for, worst case scenario. Again, that means that when your deductible also is the same as your out-of-pocket limit, usually means you have 0% coinsurance, which this plan also has. And just a quick note before we get too far, you will notice that Medical Mutual puts the word market in front of their plans. Sometimes, if you're seeing the word market in front of the plans, that means that it is through healthcare.gov. If you're buying directly from Medical Mutual, then the word market does not appear. Now again, this is something that an agent like myself can help you with, but just note if you are looking and searching around the internet that you might see it with or without the market, that's just what it means. But at the end of the day, the thing that I can say about this plan that really sums it up is that it's the plan that we hate to love and love to hate. And by that I mean is that once you actually sit down and crunch the numbers, almost 9 times out of 10, you're going to find that this plan is going to make more financial sense than any other option available to you. That is, unless you have a serious medical condition with some high-cost prescription medications, have to see a specialist, doctors, a lot of stuff like that. The bottom line is that just because it's a really high deductible doesn't mean that it is a bad health insurance plan. It only matters as to what you need the plan to do financially for you throughout a 12-month period. Bottom line, end of story. Again, not going to work for everybody, but it should be one of the first plans that you check out. Next, Medical Mutual's 4,000 HSA. Now, again, this is the second year in a row that this plan has been featured, and it's really only the second year in a row that this plan has existed. Used to be a 3,000 HSA here, but again, 4,000 single deductible, 8,000 family deductible. Again, just 2 deductibles per family, and it's going to basically allow you to split that total out of pocket up. Meaning, if something happens to just you watching this video, that you're not going to have to pay the full 8,000. You're only going to have to pay 4,000. Then, if something happens to anybody else in the family, they're going to collectively achieve another $4,000. Once that's happened, then Medical Mutual is going to pay for all covered services for the rest of the year. Now, this plan is really only going to make sense, and it's going to feel very tempting to kind of bite on this plan because, oh, it's a lower deductible. People shame you into having lower deductibles because they think in their world of pretend health insurance agenting that, you need a low deductible, and those are the things that they've been told. In reality, you're actually wasting money if you don't have a lot of medical expenses throughout the course of the year. Now, that's up to you to really ultimately decide and run the numbers, and I can definitely help you with that, and we'll talk about that more in a second. But just know that this plan is probably your next option if you're saying to yourself, well, boy, I'm going to probably have more than $6,000 worth of medical care. That's where we might want to back this up, then start to look at this deductible. And next, rounding out Medical Mutual's plans on the list, well, almost, is MedMutual's 1750 plan. Now, this is a more traditional, lower deductible plan that you might have been accustomed to. Again, 1750 indicates that you have a $1,750 deductible for a single person, or $3,500 for the family. After that, you're going to be splitting the bills with Medical Mutual at 25%. You pay 25, they pay 75. You're going to do that though, however, and this is the key, till you hit your out-of-pocket max, which in this case is going to be a lot more. It's actually going to be $7,150 for a single person, or $14,300 for a family. The catch here is that the time that you're going to want to consider this plan is if, again, you have high prescription drug costs, or you have to see doctors, your primary doctor or specialist pretty extensively throughout the course of the year, as it will have copays for those visits. So that's really the goal in which this plan is going to help you achieve, is to lower those upfront known costs. And next up, the first plan from Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's their Anthem Bronze Pathway X PPO 0% for HSA. They're really great at naming plans, aren't they? Just spectacular. Mwah. This plan is going to come equipped with a $6,550 deductible for a single person, or $13,100 for the family. Again, 0% coinsurance, much like the $6,400 plan for Medical Mutual, meaning your deductible is your out-of-pocket maximum. So again, this plan is going to function basically the same as the Medical Mutual Health Savings Account plan. You pay for everything up to your deductible, and then after that, Anthem is going to take care of the remaining medical services that are covered throughout the course of the year. Now, why are you going to want to consider this plan over Medical Mutual? Well, basically, if we want to go back to that map real quick, that map, if you live outside of the green zone, if we'll call it, I think that was a movie by Matt Damon. It was kind of mediocre. I think it was all right. But if you live outside of the green zone, then chances are you're going to want to consider this plan in place of Medical Mutual's $6,400 HSA. Also, again, a quick note, the letter X, much like Medical Mutual's word market, is only going to show up if you're buying the plan through healthcare.gov. So X for Anthem, market for Medical Mutual, just so you know. And next, the last plan on the list, and the last Anthem plan, coincidentally, on the list, is Anthem Silver Pathway X PPO 3500 plan. I got it. I said it right, I think. This plan is going to mirror closer-ish, sort of, kind of, if you squint, Medical Mutual's 1750 plan. So this plan is going to have two $3,500 deductibles. So $3,500 for a single person, or $7,000 for a total family. Again, much like the Medical Mutual plan, have 25% coinsurance and an out-of-pocket maximum of $5,700 for a single, or $11,400 for a family. But this plan is going to serve the basic similar function of what the Medical Mutual plan does, and that is keeping your costs up front down a little bit. If you have, again, high doctor's visits, high prescription medication costs, again, this is that alternative to Anthem if you live outside of the Medical Mutual fantasy land, right? So there you go. So why not? Because things are so crazy this year, I thought I would toss in just a couple honorable mentions, and they kind of drive me nuts, to be honest with you. Those two plans are MedMutual's 7,150 plan and Anthem's Bronze Pathway PPO 5850. Now, where you're going to possibly want to consider these plans is if you want to forego the HSA compatibility functionality on the two higher deductible plans that we already discussed. These plans are going to be a couple dollars cheaper, maybe $10, $15, maybe $20 a month cheaper than the HSA versions that are going to have, again, slightly lower out-of-pocket maximums. However, they're just kind of annoying. They're going to be the ultimate cheapest option for you if you want to consider it. However, if you are taking advantage of the HSA portion of the accounts and funneling money through there, chances are the money that you would be able to leverage as far as tax deductions is going to be greater than the monthly savings. Again, that's up to you. I just wanted to let you know that from a overall plan design standpoint, they're not that much different than the HSAs, and they are a few dollars cheaper. So they're getting an honorable mention, even though I just hate them for being annoying and being an option, because it's really, again, splitting the finest of hairs. So what about the other companies? Well, much like last year, everybody else in Ohio is doing one of two things that I really don't particularly care for. One, they're not offering a network of doctors and hospitals available to you that I feel are reasonably safe or reasonably expected or just anything reasonably reasonable. And that is why they're not on this list. Or two, the price is just out of whack. Or I guess three, an honorable mention, they're not offering their plans through healthcare.gov. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Aetna. Those companies like CareSource, Molina, Premier, SummaCare, Paramount, they're all just HMO-style plans that really leave you open to a lot of risk if something really bad happens. So in my opinion, that's not good enough to be on a best of list. Now, of course, just disclaimer, rates do vary pretty significantly from county to county throughout the state. So it is very possible that some of these plans will work for you in your area. You might be the exception to the rule. Lucky you. So what's the bottom line? Well, Anthem really only made the list by default this year. If Medical Mutual didn't dramatically limit the areas in which they were offering health insurance, this list would again pretty much just be straight Medical Mutual. Again, for the most part, Anthem isn't going to be any different to deal with than most other insurance companies. Their biggest sin over the last 4 years is trotting out a network of doctors and hospitals that, while masquerading as a PPO, still functions like a very limited, it's not an HMO, but it is very limiting, right? And it's just, that is what I cannot get past. It's just annoying, much like those two plans we talked about. I can't deal with it. And because there was always a solid alternative, a reason for you not to have to deal with it, there was no reason to. Now there is a reason to, so we're going to have to ultimately make do with what's available. But again, it's important to remember that this list was created to highlight the best all-around health insurance options for you. That doesn't mean they're perfect, doesn't mean every single one of these is going to work for you. But again, more often than not, these plans have a higher chance of being something to consider than the rest. So what's the next step? Well, let's actually put this thing to the test and see which plan is going to make the most financial sense for you. So go ahead, click right here on my face to do that, or there is a link below in the video's description. But of course, as always, I do appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. It does mean a lot to me. And as always, I am Joey Giangola with Giangola Insurance. Take it easy, everybody.